Smith, and I'm here as always with Marcy Carmack, our expert fashion stylist. I'm actually a visual merchandiser, and Marcy and I have realized we have lots of synergy as far as fashion and visual merchandising. Today we're looking at a designer, JJMartin, which Marcy selected because she is sustainable, she's fashion, and she's also bringing the theme of spiritual trust today. Is that right, Marcy?
Yes.
And is that what first attracted you to her? Was her personality and her lifestyle, or was it her fashion, or what was it that brought you to this topic?
Well, it's been a few years. I heard the buzz about her, so I took a look at her earlier collections, and while it wasn't for me, I'm not a print person, I still wanted to know what was going on, so I kept following her. And you'd see her in different parts of Italy, in fabulous places around Italy. And then when lockdown happened, she started going live on her Instagram page about spirituality, meditation, yoga, and really mindset is what Tony Robbins would say, but so much of it is similar. And I started to really fall in love with her because of that. I mean, she's on the screen. It's like she's talking to you directly, and she really has a great way and a lot of great things to talk about.
Okay, well, let's get to fashion. We put together a slideshow, right, today, Marcy, and we're going to take a look at some of these examples of JJMartin, and this is our first slide, which we both found inspiring, didn't we? I mean,
yeah. Let's see if we can push this over just a little bit. So, well, as I mentioned, I'm not really a print person. And then when I showed Stanley her most recent collection, he wasn't bowled over. So he said, well, let's see if there are any pictures of her, which was a great idea. And we found this one where she's in her home. And were you talking about that?
Yeah, the Italian stoneware. I thought that's kind of indicative of a design element and a starting point. And I see it in the tabletop collection as well, right? That's traditional Italian inspired dinnerware, right?
Yeah. So I love her dinnerware, plates, napkins. I love it. I wouldn't wear all of her things, but this is cute.
I agree with Marcy. I told Marcy earlier, we're talking about visual merchandising and display, and I'm very reluctant to use patterns or prints in the backdrop because it's very distracting, and it also can be seen as instantly dated. So Marcy and I kind of agreed on that we're not necessarily print people, but I think we need to look at that today ourselves and figure out what's up with that. But I did like this presentation because there's enough going on, got some relief with the blue, and I like the interior setting of the books and the traditionalness with the print. It's very pleasing, it's very colorful, it's very inspiring.
It definitely is. And as there are more things that you can notice as you look at the pictures. And there's a Greek key around this mirror. Maybe it's not exactly a Greek key, but it looks like a Greek key. And that's very cool. Here she is in one of her designs in front of a very cool piece of art, and then more of her interiors.
This is especially interesting because I do love the backdrop, inspiring art, and art inspiring fashion. It's just the round robin. It's a whole sustainable model. Sustainability. And I think Marcy and I were struggling with the idea of the spirituality and trying to figure out how that relates to the prints and the patterns. And I think we came up with the idea that the prints and the pattern is speaking to us of the moment. The idea of it's beautiful, it's colorful, and we can enjoy it in the moment. Maybe Marcy and I don't perceive it as being timeless and classic, but maybe that's not what spirituality needs to be. If it's joyful today and making you happy and joyful today, maybe that's what's important. But this was we found these slides and we thought this was something we could relate to and talk about. The show that Marcy and I were talking about was the Vogue slideshow, which I found really uninspiring. Marcy found the coat, which she used as her title image for the presentation, and we find that it's got some style going on. It's got some fashion styling going on, but the dress on the left is just a little flat there in that photo. And I think that the Vogue presentation did a injustice to the designer and the designs and the whole topic. It's not really very inspiring. But these are two nice examples of her line, aren't they, Marcy?
Yeah, very nice. And here's another look from the show on the right. And I didn't mention before, but I love these little turbans. They give it a little oomph. And then this lady on the street in Milan with her coat and matching boots. She's having fun.
And this was actually a good crossover for Marcy and I, because the one with the green background is the one from the Vogue slideshow, which we were having issues with. And we found this image of the lady on the street. And to us, that really brought this to life for us, because it was a juxtaposition of the colorful, lively fashion in the urban setting. It brought it out into the street. And it's one of our recurring themes at Fashion Coffee Hour is the idea of bringing beauty into the world. And there it is. I mean, I'm buying it. I think it's nice. It's attractive. It's a nice ensemble. I love the whole shoes is a little over the top, but she's making it work. On the city
She's
street.
having fun.
She's having fun.
She's joyful.
She's joyful.
That's modern spirituality. Joyfulness.
And Marcy said you were at a yoga class of hers recently, right?
Yes, actually, I've gone to a couple classes. The first one, she spoke about empowerment kind of thing, and then yesterday she did a yoga. She didn't do the yoga, but she presented a yoga instructor to a large group of women on Zoom, and it was great. Yep.
Oh, and this is an interesting styling. She's got the shorter jacket, a longer sweater, breaking up the whole
Pattern.
look. I thought that was pretty clever. And she's got the dog going. Pretty subdued in the context of some of her recent designs or patterns. But
yeah, I think fall brings upon some more subdued patterns and fabrics. Prints. This is a little more fun, and we both like it. And I wonder if her dog has a
coordinating leash. Well, that dog is on a long fashion leash. And I guess she is too. I mean, she's taken a chance, isn't she? I mean, in the context of the surrounding Italian crowd, she's making quite the statement, isn't she?
She definitely is.
I mean, I don't think of Italians as being necessarily reserved per se, but they're looking pretty conservative compared to her. But Marcy and I did both like this. We think she's bringing that confidence to her fashion and to her statement, and that makes it work, don't you think? I mean, I think if she was slumping along and had a weighed down a shopping bag, she might look like she was out shopping in her pajamas, but she's definitely making it look like she's out for a stroll, and it's very believable. It's pretty. Oh, and then we have a couple last slides. When we originally taped this was International Women's Day, so we were just celebrating women and all things women, and found this slide of Betty Friedan at the far end of the photo and Gloria Steinem at the other end, both looking very fashionable. And Eleanor Guggenheimer, next to Betty Friedan, she was the planning commissioner for New York City, and Eleanor Nolan, oh, I'm drawing a blank on the last name, Litton, I think, Eleanor Nolan Norton. She was the head of the Human Rights Department of New York City. And then the very last photo was one I had to throw in there because I just had to get Shirley Chisholm in there. So we've got Gloria Steinem, Shirley Chisholm, and Betty Friedan, icons from our past.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure they were spiritual in their time. So I want to thank you for joining us for this episode of Fashion Coffee. I hope you found some inspiration there and some joy and some spirituality. Right, Marcy?
That's right.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Fashion Coffee Hour. Bye-bye.